For today's headlines, palace to health workers, stay. No more enhanced community quarantine, Malacañang hopes. United States grants Pfizer Covid vaccine full approval. National Capital Region plus ayuda distribution continues. Pandemic spurs growth of video streaming platform. Adopt a Community Pantry project launched. Philippine National Police spokesperson General Rolando Olay defines changes in existing modified enhanced community quarantine. Good morning, I am Venice Bautista and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Today is August 24, 2021 and here are the latest news of this Tuesday morning. In what clearly is a plea, Malacañang on Monday asked the overwhelmed health workers from resigning en masse, vowing that the government will respond to their needs as earlier promised. The threat of a mass resignation by the medical workers over purported low salaries, the palace said, will increase the number of unemployed in the country and will weigh against the efforts to spur economic recovery. In his televised briefing, presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque said nurses threatening to leave hospitals should not push through with their plans since the government cannot afford to aid them financially. The palace official also noted that President Rodrigo Duterte ordered the inclusion of more medical frontliners to receive risk allowances. The president said the health department may also use his contingency funds to pay the medical frontliners benefits. In response to the president's order, the DOH would utilize over 311 million pesos of its contingency fund to grant the special risk allowances of an additional 21,126 healthcare workers, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergires said. She added that the total amount has yet to be finalized since DOH regional offices were reviewing the eligibility of the public and private medical workers. The palace said on Monday that the government is hoping that Metro Manila would no longer revert to a strict lockdown for the rest of the year to resuscitate the pandemic-battered economy. Speaking in his regular press briefing, presidential spokesperson Secretary Harry Roque expressed hopes that this month's enhanced community quarantine is the final strict lockdown that would be imposed in the capital region. The palace official likewise acknowledged that hard lockdowns should be a last resort due to their economic impact. He said the government should strengthen its prevention, detection, isolation, and treatment strategies, as well as its vaccination efforts against COVID-19. The imposition of ECQ in Metro Manila and other provinces increased the number of poor people by up to 250,000 and the unemployed by 600,000, according to the estimates of the National Economic and Development Authority. In the capital region alone, about 105 billion pesos was lost to the economy for each week it was under ECQ from 6th to 20th of August, since establishments deemed non-essential were barred from operating during the period. Meanwhile, Roque said all beneficiaries are low-income families in Metro Manila affected by hard lockdown who have yet to receive cash aid from the national government would still be given financial assistance even if the capital region was downgraded to modified ECQ. In our foreign news, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on Monday fully approved Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, a move expected to trigger a new wave of vaccine mandates as the Delta variant batters the country. The FDA's approval of this vaccine is a milestone as we continue to battle the COVID-19 pandemic, according to Acting FDA Commissioner Janet Woodcock. While millions of people have already safely received COVID-19 vaccines, we recognize that for some, the FDA approval of a vaccine may now instill additional confidence to get vaccinated. The COVID vaccine, which may now be marketed under its brand name Community, is the first to receive full approval. Tens of millions of shots have already been administered under an emergency use authorization that was granted on December 11, 2020. The decision to award it approval was based on updated data from the drug's clinical trial, including a longer duration of follow-up, with safety and effectiveness evaluated among more than 40,000 people. The U.S. military has previously announced it will mandate the vaccine as soon as it receives full approval, and a slew of private businesses and universities are expected to follow. The vaccine remains available under emergency use authorization to children aged 12 to 15, but because it has now been fully approved, physicians may prescribe it to children under 12 if they believe it will be beneficial. Tribune News on Q will be back after these reminders.
Every time I'm on the road, I can expect high performance from Phoenix Fuels. Now with Pulse technology, delivers enhanced power and acceleration to make every trip come alive.
We are back on Tribune News on Q. In other news, the distribution of financial assistance in the National Capital Region, Laguna, and Bataan will continue despite the shift to the more relaxed, modified, enhanced community quarantine. Department of Interior and Local Government Undersecretary and spokesperson Jonathan Malaya denied reports that the so-called ayuda for NCR Plus will stop after the shift to MECQ. According to Malaya, that is fake news. Though more people are now back to work, the cash aid is a commitment of the government and will continue to be distributed despite the change in quarantine classification. He also condemned those spreading fake news in social media, and he reiterated that the funds that have been downloaded to the local government units will continue until the last peso is distributed. Malaya stressed that the distribution is going smoothly in the NCR area with a total of 8.4 billion pesos in financial aid distributed as of August 21 to some 8.4 million beneficiaries in the NCR. This represents 75% of the funds downloaded by the national government to Metro Manila. Malaya said that safeguards are already in place to ensure that graft and corruption is prevented in the distribution this year, such as the posting of the beneficiaries list in the social media pages of the LGU concerned and the creation of a grievance and appeals committee per LGU. Viva Max President and CEO Vincent Del Rosario said the pandemic fast-tracked the game plan to promote the video streaming platform and spurred its growth. At first, the pace was slow, Del Rosario told media during an online conference, pointing out the challenges of shooting movies and series amid a raging virus. The stringent health and safety protocols to mitigate the risks and fears among artists and crews were a big factor in not rushing schedules to finish 35 to 40 movies for 2021. But as the plan was laid out, Del Rosario said this team realized Viva Max would be able to finish 50 movies within the year, or 10 more than the original target. At present, Viva Max offers 500 titles consisting of a mix of original Filipino content, Tagalogized Hollywood and Asian material. Since its launch 6 months ago, Viva Max has featured originally produced series, movies, documentaries, and concerts featuring the likes of Sarah Geronimo Antala, Sharon Cuneta and Revirginized, Vice Ganda and Gandemic, Kim Molina and Gerald Napoles in Ang Babaeng Walang Pakiramdam, Ikaw at Ako at Ang Ending, and Pac Boys. Sian Lim sa Parang Kayo Para Hindi, Kylie Versosa, The Housemaid, Lovie Poe in The Other Wife, Sunshine Gilmary and Kaka, Eddie Garcia and Manoy, and Cindy Miranda and Aldra Bernica in Nerissa. In other news, a group of individuals from notable social institutions has formally launched the Adopt a Community Pantry project on Monday to institutionalize and ensure that the community pantries will be able to continue providing daily necessities to communities gravely affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Philanthropic individuals, families, groups, civic clubs, and other social and business institutions will be tapped to commit their support in cash or kind short-term or long-term, to any of the over 1,300 community pantries that provide food and basic necessities to families in hungry communities. The initiative has created a financial platform that will connect sponsors to the community pantries and ensure smooth and transparent transactions. For Maginhawa Community Pantry organizer Ana Patricia Non, there are currently 6,700 community pantries across the country, which numbers are fluctuating as some of them are reducing the number of days of operation due to the decreasing number of donations that they received. According to Non, most of the organizers are residents who come from low to middle class families. The Tanging Yaman Foundation of the Jesuit Philippine Province and the De La Salle Brothers Incorporated of De La Salle Brothers will receive the funds, while the Community Pantry Philippines, a support group, will select the beneficiary community pantries, coordinate the activities, and provide the logistical and technical support. Sponsors may also be connected to their beneficiary communities to foster greater solidarity. Tribune News on Q will be back. Stay with us.
The globe, our steps can lead us to millions of doors opening, millions of paths unfolding, and millions of reasons to keep going. Now's the time to be with a network that gets better every day for you.
Iba ng panahon, ang dami ng bago ngayon. Pati ang mundo natin, well, nagbago na rin. Buti ang bayan, bigger, better na. You can buy it to centers, pati sa mga parties may online pa at app. You can buy it with your fingers, still don't remittance and more. Online shopping, you can buy it all. Di magpadala, you can buy it all. Anumang pera transaction, you can buy it all.
Sabayan ang pagbabago ng mundo for all your pera transactions, all new Bayad.
Public service advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Ang bayan kong Pilipinas, hirap ang dinadanas. Sari-sari ang problema dahil sa pandemya. Matapang ang Pilipino, matapang tayo, kakayanin natin to, kaya natin to. Like Andres Bonifacio, he is our hero. Hindi at takbo, hindi at takbo. Nandyan na ang bakuna, magpapaturok ka ba? Huwag mawalan ng pag-asa, may pag-asa. Malapit na ang ginhawa, may ginhawa. Mawawala ang pandemya, mawawala na rin yan. It's gonna be okay na, okay na, okay na, okay na. Nandyan na ang bakuna, magpapaturok ka ba? Subilin na ang pandemya, magpapaturok
Service Advisory is brought to you by Daily Tribune and 100.3 RJFM.
Mga katribo, handa na ba kayong sumayaw at manalo? Halina't sumali sa Katribo Bakuna Paturok TikTok Challenge handog ng Daily Tribune, Teleradyo Bandido TV at RJFM. Napakadali lang sumali. Step 1. Like at i-follow ang Daily Tribune Facebook page at TikTok account upang maging updated at makasali. Step 2. Bumuo ng isa o grupo na hanggang 3 katao at gumawa ng TikTok video gamit ang opisyal na Paturok Jingle Daily Tribune at RJFM na makukuha sa TikTok account ng Daily Tribune.
Papabakuna ka ba? 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 Vaccination for the nation. No more isolation. With vaccination. Papabakuna ka ba? 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 Paturok! Paturok! Paturok!
Step 3. I-post ang inyong video sa Daily Tribune TikTok account at gamitin ang hashtag Katribo Bakuna Paturok. Maaari ring i-mention ang Daily Tribune TikTok account para sa inyong entry. Huwag kalimutang i-like ang official Facebook page ng Daily Tribune. Manood at huwag kalimutang i-share ang programang Gising Na Facebook livestream mula alas 8 hanggang alas 9 ng umaga para alamin ang daily winner. Lahat pwede sumali. Make your move. Lumabas at magpaturok na ng bakuna.
Paturok! Paturok!
You are still watching Tribune News on Q. In other news, PNP spokesperson General Rolando Olay defines changes in existing MECQ. The details in this report of Vernon Velasco. Good morning, Vernon. Yes.
From average daily violators under the stricter enhanced community quarantine imposed in NCR Plus for the last 2 weeks. This only means, according to police spokesperson General Rolando Olay, on an interview over Gising Na, that though the MECQ is tougher than ECQ, policy enforcement is tougher. Unlike the previous MECQ imposed last April, more industries and establishments have been permitted to operate under this iteration of the present quarantine classification, which means more worker authorized persons outside of residence. While retail stores are allowed to open their doors to A4, al fresco dining is still not allowed, unlike the previous MECQ. Religious gatherings can also only be done now virtually compared to the previous MECQ, where churches were allowed to accommodate 10% of their capacity was allowed. Although public utility vehicles are allowed to ply the streets, those who operate with more than 50% of their vehicle capacity, as well as commuters who refuse to observe minimum health protocols, will also be penalized. Consumer A4 are only allowed to go going on. Metro Manila is under MECQ until the end of August 2021, along with the provinces of Laguna and Bataan. This is Vernon Velasco for NOC. Please.
Thank you, Vernon, for that field report. And that wraps up the stories this morning. Before we go, we would like to thank the SM Store, the Department of Tourism, Aranda Center, MG Motors, Hina Motors, Security Bank, and Overseas Community Affairs Council member Alan Lin of Republic of China for their continued support. Again, this is Venice Bautista, and you are watching Tribune News on Q. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay at home. Good morning.
Catch the latest news on our website tribune.net.ph and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel, Tribune Now. The Daily Tribune is one with the nation in facing the COVID-19 crisis, and in line with this, the Daily Tribune digital edition and press reader is now available for free online. You can also download the Daily Tribune app on Apple Store for iOS users and Google Play for Android users to get the latest and most comprehensive news online. Daily Tribune is also inviting everyone to join its Community Viber Katribu to get updates on the freshest and hottest news and entertainment stories of the day. Tarcito emoticons are also available on our Community Viber. Just click on the link in this video to join.
Manong Joe po.
At Ate Maita.
Ngayong Hunyo, bahagyang tumaas ng 8 centavos per kilowatt hour ang overall electricity rates. Ito'y dahil sa dagdag singil sa WSM.
Alam niyo ba, pwede kayong i-update na Meralco sa text or sa email gaya ni Sarah G. Sisendan kayo ng advanced updates tulad ng upcoming bill details. Di na kayo kakaba-kaba sa paghihintay ng bills. At anumang mangyari sa bill, masira, mabasa, o mawala, no problem. To get updates, i-update ang inyong contact information sa Facebook Messenger, meralco.com.ph, email, hotline 16211 o Meralco Business Centers.
Handa kami makipag-ugnayan sa inyo para makapaghatid ng mas mabuti, mabilis, at pagkinhawang serbisyo.
Hanggang sa susunod na
Meralco Advisory!